boy, oh boy, did it look like the Raptors were about to suffer their worst loss of the season and an ultimate low. I mean, this was a game that was a lot closer than expected through 3 quarters, but then Toronto said enough is enough. Let's blow these guys out, as the Raptors took care of business in the fourth quarter, outscoring the Hornets in that final frame 35-18 en route to the 114-99 victory. We're going to talk about this win, guys. Before we do just that, please do me a solid, hit a like on the video. It helps it a ton. And also, please subscribe to the channel for more Raptors content just like this. I do a video after every single Raptors game on this channel. And I also do other videos talking about the latest rumors and topics from Raptors land. I dropped a piece the other day about the Raptors being linked to Keegan Murray, and then the Raptors Nation podcast drops every Thursday. You can follow us over on X, Raptors Nation TV, and also you can check out all of our articles at raptorsnation.com. So this was not a good start for the Toronto Raptors. The Raptors were down 27-19 after the first quarter. Then, they go into halftime, down to the Hornets by 4. You start to get that feeling, wow, are the Raptors really going to lose this game? And just for reference, this was basically the G League Hornets, guys. Like, they were missing a ton of players, and they were as shorthanded as it gets. And they made this hard on the Raptors. I mean, this was a struggle for Toronto through 3 quarters, and it was a dogfight. And I posted it on X. This basically tells you everything you need to know about this team. The fact that the Raptors were in a dogfight against the Hornets, struggling, shows you that this team, it's just been that kind of season for them. And, they need to, sooner or later, go towards that rebuild around Scotty Barnes. Because speaking of Barnes, guys, he was unbelievable in this game. Scotty Barnes continues to just be the bright spot for the Raptors. As I said, build around 4. That is what it's going to come down to. Scotty Barnes, 27 points, 17 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 blocks. He was the only Raptor, in my opinion, that had the same energy throughout. He was the only Raptor that looked like he wanted to compete, play at a high level, and win this game, because in the first half, a lot of Raptors players didn't show up. Scotty continuously brought it. And with those numbers, 22 points, 17 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 blocks. First Raptors player, guys, ever with 15-plus points, 15-plus rebounds, 5-plus assists, and 3-plus blocks in a game. Scotty Barnes remains the ultimate bright spot for this Raptors team. And I mean, it's clear as day the Raptors need to commit to building around him. Pascal Siakam came alive in the second half. He had 27, 8, and 8 on 11 of 16 shooting. Dennis Schroeder had 13. And then I want to shout out Gary Trent Jr. Here's a fun fact for all of you guys. Gary Trent Jr. with his first career double-double. That was news to me. I did not know that Gary Trent Jr. had never registered a double-double in his career. He actually had the best plus-minus on the night. Barnes was plus 22. Gary Trent Jr. was plus 25. This was by far his best game of the season for the Toronto Raptors as their 6th man. Gary Trent Jr., 22 points, 9 of 17 from the field, 4 of 10 from 3, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, plus 25. Gary Trent Jr. was the huge boost the Raptors needed from their bench, as he was just unbelievable in this one. He and Barnes really stood out to me as, being the guys that really kept the Raptors afloat when it looked like the Raptors were going to essentially lose this game. So Gary Trent Jr., nice to see him actually contribute in a big way. We've been waiting for this type of game from him. Not necessarily the rebounds. That's a bonus, 10 rebounds, but the point production, 22 on 9 of 17 shooting, 4 of 10 from 3. You will take that. And then also Precious Achiuwa, 12 points. He was a plus 12, 5 and 9 from the field, as the only Raptors players to score in double figures tonight: Siakam, Barnes, Schroeder, Achiuwa, and Gary Trent Jr. Pirtle had 4 points, only took 2 shots. OG Anunoby struggled once again, 0 of 5 from 3. You hope he can turn it around. And then Chris Boucher had 7 points. Malachi Flynn, 2 points. He struggled, 1 of 6 from the field, 0 of 4 from 3. As you look at the Raptors in this one, guys, 51% from the field. They were terrible from 3 once again, but it did not matter in this situation because the Hornets were worse. The Hornets were 8 of 32 from 3, Raptors 8 of 29. You look at the assists, Raptors plus 12 in that category, Raptors 30 assists on 44 made field goals, so they were sharing the ball well. Points in the paint, 64. And then the Raptors' largest lead was 15. The Hornets actually had a double-digit lead at one point, 11, but the Raptors were able to erase that. And then the biggest reason why the Raptors looked like they were going to lose this game, turnovers, guys. The Raptors did not take care of the ball at all. I mean, 19 turnovers. That is just unacceptable. But the Raptors, despite that, they find a way to win. But, I mean, that's not saying a ton because, like I said, the Hornets were literally the G League Hornets in this one, missing a ton of guys, ton of their key players. Leading the way for the Hornets was Rozier, who actually got into foul trouble. And then when he had to sit because of foul trouble, that's when the Raptors got back into the game. So if Rozier doesn't get in foul trouble, Hornets probably have a good chance of winning this one. And then other than that, Brandon Miller had 14, PJ Washington had 15, and McGowan's had 14. So look, we're not going to overstate this, put too much stock into it. I mean, the Raptors beat a Hornets team that they should have handled. This shouldn't have been close through 3 quarters. It shouldn't have been a struggle, but it was. But like I said, the Raptors at least saved themselves from the embarrassment of losing to the Hornets because, man, I tell you, if the Raptors somehow lost this game, all hell would have broke loose, and I would have wanted a trade to hit as soon as tomorrow morning. But you look at the Raptors, 11 and 15, 8 and 7 at home, and it's not going to get easier for the Raptors, guys. So the Raptors, to close out this year, this is their remaining schedule. They have the Nuggets on Wednesday. That's going to be tough. Defending champs coming to town. Sixers, who have been playing well overall. Jazz, who have been struggling. Wizards. So the Raptors do catch a break with Jazz and Wizards back-to-back there. So the Raptors do catch a break with Jazz and Wizards. Those are obviously winnable matchups. And they have the Celtics, who have been tough. Raptors have not played well against the Celtics this season. And then they have the Pistons, who to this point have not won. They almost beat the Hawks. And I'm just scared that the Pistons are going to end their losing streak against the Raptors because the Pistons got to win eventually, right? I thought they were going to win against the Hawks. I know they got a couple of matchups coming up against the Nets. So I really hope the Raptors are in that team to end the Pistons losing streak. So that is going to be the final game for the Raptors to close out 2023. So Raptors, they have 6 games left. 3 of them are going to be very difficult. 3 of them winnable. But obviously with this team, the winnable games have been difficult as well. We'll see how this team closes out the year because the elephant is in the room. A lot of trade rumors have been coming up. It's trade season, so things are going to continue to heat up. You know, Siakam's name keeps being brought up. OG Anunoby's name. Even a guy like Trent Jr. is probably going to get a lot of interest from contending teams because he can add some much-needed shooting to help bolster a roster that looks to make a long playoff run. So the Raptors players, their pending free agents are going to get a lot of interest, a lot of attention. And through the first part of the season, guys, through 26 games, my opinion has not changed when it comes to this team. The Toronto Raptors, they have something nice there. They got a nice gem in Scotty Barnes. Now it's time to put forth the proper infrastructure around Barnes so this thing can move positively into a successful direction. So we'll see, though, how the Raptors end this year. We'll see if they completely fall off the cliff, if they can maybe somehow build some momentum. But with the way the season has gone, it's just been so rocky, so inconsistent, so up and down. Wouldn't be surprised if that's the theme to close out the year for this version of the Raptors. But guys, what was your reaction to this game against the Hornets? What is your reaction to the Toronto Raptors overall? What direction do you want to see this team take? Let me know your thoughts. Hit a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. That is it for me. This is Lucas signing off. As always, thanks so much for watching. I will catch you all again in the next one.